What's up, everyone? It's your girl. I am Kaya, and I'm back with another video today, y'all. We are talking about Love Island, Season 7, Episode motherfucking 12, y'all. We did it, y'all. We did it. We did it. We did it. Hey, y'all, this evil. We did it. I don't even know if that's the right sayings, but who the fuck cares? Y'all, this episode was an hour, 22 minutes, and 17 motherfucking seconds long, y'all. And I was like, what the hell? Like, is the recoupling gonna take that much? No, they wanted us to see every inch of this episode. If you catch my drift. Y'all, episode had me seated. I was so happy. That recoupling with Huda and Jeremiah. The one thing I could not take this episode was the fucking crying, y'all. And it was mainly the women. Now, some of them had reasons to cry, but one of them, Amaya, why you crying, bitch? Why the fuck were you crying that way? You crying more than the bitches who got recoupled. Like, girl, you're safe. Calm down. But anyway, y'all, before we get into this episode, y'all, because I feel like this recap is going to be really, really long. So just bear with me. But before we get into all that, if you're new here, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Subscribe, okay? Whew, I'm tired of telling y'all this. Let's go ahead and get this engagement up. Like I said, I'm going to be here all season long for Love Island. This episode, y'all, I'm so ready for tomorrow. We are getting it. America, we did it. I think we turned it. We made the drama. Thank us. We did that shit. All right, y'all, but enough of me rambling. I'm so ready. Let's go ahead and get into this motherfucking episode. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get into this episode. I'm just gonna go ahead and do, because a lot of this episode really, like the first like hour or so was like the couples talking and everything. We had the challenge, and then it was more talking, and then we had the recoupling. The recoupling took like the last like 30 minutes of the episode, I think. So what I'm gonna do is like how I did in my last video, my last couple of videos, where I just go through each couple, the ones that had the biggest things this season, go through them, and then talk about the game, then talk about the recoupling at the end. So seeing where before the recoupling and everything like that, let's talk about the couples. So the first one, we're gonna talk about it, y'all. Hannah, Charlie, and Pepe. So the episode starts off back with, Hannah was in the speakeasy tonguing down Pepe, and like literally tonguing him down. They come back and they're with the group. Nick is like, dude, you have like lipstick on you. And he said, what? He said he was playing, because I don't remember Hannah having lipstick on. I don't remember her having lipstick on. Yeah. So she tells the group that she kissed Pepe, and they are telling her like, look, you got to tell Charlie, because come on now. And then so she says that she does pull Charlie in for a chat, and she says, I did kiss him. But then Charlie is not, of course he's like a little upset, because he really does like Hannah. I mean, he understandable, but he says that he's not too mad at Hannah, because he wants her to explore options and everything like that, right? So then we have, when they're going to bed, Hannah is telling the girls that, Charlie and Pepe are so different. Like with Pepe, it's like more sexual. With Charlie, it's more romantic. Yada yada yada. Which I don't know. I don't see the romantic for both of them. Like, because unless, like I said, because Peacock, they can show us whatever they want. From what we've seen with Charlie and Hannah to her and Pepe, it seems like it's the same thing. Y'all don't talk about really shit, and all y'all do is just make out with each other. Like, that's really what you did with Pepe, and that's what you've been doing with Charlie most of the time. Like, y'all literally was like the boring couple ever. Like, every time they flash to y'all, all y'all doing was making out. Like, bitch, I don't want to see that. So maybe, like I said again, it could be more that Peacock is not showing us, and they are having meaningful conversations, but it's probably boring as fuck, and they just don't want to show it. Has to be something. Just has to be something. So then we then have a point throughout the episode where it goes into the next morning again, because I'm breaking out each couple. So if I'm a little over the place, just bear with me, talking about each couple. So it's the next morning, and Charlie is talking to, I forgot who he's talking to. I think he's talking to Nick. I could be wrong. I think he's talking to Nick. He says that he's going to talk to Iris today. And because Hannah constantly, what she did with Pepe, she said, okay, if you're gonna be doing, he said, okay, if you're gonna be doing that, let me go ahead and like try to explore people. Let me not just be sitting here just being all mopey. Understandable, right? So then Charlie pulls what did I write? Did I say pull? Oh no, I put Charlie pulls Hannah and Hannah's a little bothered. No, Charlie pulls Iris, and then Hannah is bothered. Like he literally pulled her for a chat. So then Hannah is talking to Taylor, and she's like, Taylor, oh Taylor, I'm about to crash out. I'm about to crash out because Charlie pulled Iris for a chat. Just for a chat. Like they're not doing anything. Like she like Charlie pulled her for a chat, and Hannah is looking at them talking, right? And while she's talking to Taylor. And Hannah says that she thinks that Charlie is pulling Iris for these talks to rub it in her face because she was kissing Pepe the night before. She says, I never pulled Pepe. He pulled me. But you're going out of your way to pull Iris and have a talk and throw it in my face. Hannah, girl, this is when you lost me, because I don't understand how you're so it's like a lot of couples like that I don't like, because Nick is the same way when it comes to Sierra. Like he can like kiss on and like talk to people, but then the minute Sierra does any of that, he has a problem. And Hannah's acting the same goddamn way, and I don't like that. You literally, like, the only thing we seen you and Pepe do is just be kissing. Like the only time y'all didn't kiss was the very first conversation, and then ever since after that, like you just keep kissing on this man. So what's wrong with him just pulling Iris for a chat? Not understand, sweetheart. And question, is Hannah a little slow? I got a little slow vibes from her, and we gonna get into that, y'all. So after Charlie, because I think this is like the second at this point, because Charlie had talked to Iris like the night Hannah had kissed what's his face, Pepe, but it was really nothing to talk about. He just pulled her because he just said, hey, you gonna do that, let me do that. So the morning, that was his second talk with Iris, right? And then Hannah, and then her and Charlie, Hannah pulls Charlie for a talk. I think they're in Soul Ties area, right? And she says that she wants him to talk to other people, but she doesn't want him talking to Iris. She doesn't want him talking to other girls just to spite her. And then Charlie says, which I basically said, like, you made out with Pepe, but you're mad, but when I just want to talk to somebody else. And then he said, well, if you like this, that means you must care. He says, do you care if I'm reacting like this? The bitch starts laughing. And I said, is she okay? Like literally, like all he like, because she never blatantly answered the question. He just says, like, if you care, just tell me that. And she just like, and then I don't know what happened after that. And I just said, they kiss. That's what they do. That's what they always do. And that's what they did later on. So, we get over to let me see. Bear with me. Oh yeah, so we then have, do I have nope, I don't got a photo, but use your imagination, right? So later on, so after the challenge, later in the episode, Charlie pulls Amaya for a talk. And he basically saying, because I think at that point Hannah had pulled Pepe for a talk again, and all Hannah and Pepe were doing was kissing, y'all. Like I literally wrote down, like I said, Pepe and Hannah talk, they just make out. That's literally all I took from it. It's like there's literally nothing there. And I know y'all feel bad what y'all did later on, but we gonna get to that. So then after, she pulls Pepe again for a talk, this is when Charlie pulls Amaya. He talks to Amaya basically saying, hey, like, are you open to like have some connection with me? And I think the only reason why, and I think he assured later on, the only reason why he's even doing this is because the only reason why he's doing this because he's worried that like when it's time for recoupling and the girls are going to choose this time, that Hannah is going to pick Pepe over him. And so he's trying to make it work with Amaya, because Amaya is not, Amaya and Ace, like that's done so, right? And then all of a sudden Amaya, like, she's hearing him out, but then all of a sudden she just starts crying. And I'm like, what is she crying for? And then she just says, I appreciate coming and telling me this, but Hannah is like my bestest friend, and I just can't do this to her. And I was like, okay. And then Amaya goes up to a confessional and says, like, yeah, she is open. She said if it was somebody else, she'd been open to have a connection, but she just can't hurt Hannah. And she says it's sad that she doesn't have a strong connection in the house, and she doesn't. Like, she had his biggest crush on Pepe. I mean, she still can go ahead and explore that, because from how it ended, it don't even seem like, well, we don't know, we gotta wait to see, but it doesn't even seem like Hannah is even open to explore after what happened at the end of the episode. So she still may have a chance, but I understand her. So then we get, before the recoupling, we have Hannah and Charlie. They later on they talk, and she apologizes to Charlie for how she has been acting, especially when it comes to Pepe. And again, Charlie reinstates. He says he's not mad that Hannah wants to explore, but which you fucked up, he putting all his eggs in Hannah's basket. Because like I said before, I really never saw, maybe I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I honestly really never saw Hannah and Charlie working out, because it seemed, because Charlie, before Hannah got there, none of the girls wanted Charlie. None of them. He literally was just sitting around hanging with Austin, and they were just talking about everything else in the house. And he was happy that when Bombshell showed up, because he was able to pull one of them to the side to see if he can make something work. And Hannah was just immediately, they just clicked. But to me, I honestly never saw any of this happening. I never saw any of it happening, especially like I think it was the last episode before that, where Hannah literally, her and Charlie was like coupled up and everything like that. And then she just openly says that she was waiting for new men to come into the house. So when she said that, I just knew, I'll say, oh, you just with Charlie just for right now. But when somebody comes in here, like what happened with Pepe, you gonna jump all on them. And now all of a sudden you care? I ain't believing that shit. But she brings up, because Amaya told Hannah about the conversation she had with Charlie. She brings it up, and Charlie admits that he fucked up by asking Amaya that, which you kind of did, because like I didn't see that going nowhere anyways. Asking Amaya to explore, because the only reason why he asked, because he thought he was losing Hannah, which I assumed. I said, you only have to be asking this because you think Hannah's not going to pick you when you have to recouple. Because mind you, in their minds, they're not thinking that they're going to have a recoupling. They're thinking that the recoupling is going to happen another day. They didn't think this is going to happen. We're gonna get to that. And then they kiss, and then she says she will not kiss anyone else, and she only wants Charlie. We have to wait and see that. But anyway, we move on to the next couple, you guys. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get into the next couple who had like a little thing this episode. And oh damn, wait, where's Austin? Oh damn, I forgot to put Austin in here. You know what? But honestly though, Austin really only had that one talk with Shelly at the beginning of the episode, so I'm not going back and editing his picture in. So just use your imagination, and I just imagine I put Austin in this screen, right? So the episode, at the beginning of the episode, Shelly and Austin, they talk, right? And Austin, I say, to me, it seems like Austin is now finally opening up to Shelly how he really feels. I think he's been telling Shelly, but I think he's been doing it like kind of like a playful way about that love triangle with him, Shelly, and with him, Shelly, and Ace. Ooh, excuse me, y'all. And he's finally opened up, and you can kind of tell he said he really can't take anymore being in this triangle. He's like, it's bothering him that all people are saying is, oh my god, Ace and Shelly. Oh my god, Ace and Shelly. Shit. That's his insecurity. Sorry if I burped in my mic, y'all. That's his insecurity coming out. And then Shelly basically says, because I really couldn't take all of that, because like Austin, you guys know how I feel about Austin. I gotta keep repeating myself. Shelly says that with Austin, it was kind of giving her an exhaustion that that he's like putting all this on her, but she says she still likes him. But look, I don't want to defend Austin. I do not want to defend Austin at all, but I understand his frustration and everything, because you gotta put yourself in Austin's shoes. He seems like he's really giving, even though we don't see it, he's really putting it out there, opening up to Shelly, saying how much he likes her and everything like that, and then see her like constantly looking like she's chasing after Ace. And he kind of clocked it a couple episodes ago. He said Ace wants Shelly to chase him, and she's not the chasing type of girl. And I think it's like kind of bothering him seeing Ace constantly like having his eyes elsewhere instead of focusing on Shelly, because Shelly, look at her. And I can see him. So in that sense, I can understand Austin. I understand where he's coming from, and I understand. But like after this episode and after Ace's acting, I don't know, Shelly, I think she's finally coming to her senses. My goodness. But yeah. So speaking of Ace, we get him and Shelly talking. This is still within the same night. And what I say? Oh yeah, Ace pulls Shelly for a chat. He tells Shelly that he is still open to exploring her, but he talked to Iris and they have so much in common, and he's really open into exploring Iris. Immediately when he said that, I saw Shelly's face. Like, you can tell Shelly did not care. Like, I think Shelly's like, trying to be a strong woman, because not trying to make it seem like she's thirsty for a guy, because honestly Shelly does not need to be chasing or be thirsting over no man, especially not a 22-year-old. I'm saying. So yeah, so then of course, and then he said, like, what are you thinking? And Shelly said, of course, I don't like hearing that, because of course I'm still trying to explore you and everything like that. And then she goes to her confessional. I think I really wish she would have said that in real time. She says in her confessional, it says, it seems like every girl that walks in here, you just want to keep exploring her, hoping and then thinking that Shelly's gonna be in your back pocket whenever you want to come talking and things don't go right. And that's really, and she basically, I'm so glad. I don't know if we kind of getting our little, like a little telepathy. Is that what telepathy? Is that a word? Is that the word? Y'all know what I'm trying to say, right? Telepathy. That's what it's called. I don't know why the fuck I said telepathy, y'all. But anyway, so she, I feel like she is saying what everybody on, especially me in my videos, everybody has been saying. Ace just wants to play around. Every bombshell that comes in here, he is always like fluttering his eyes, looking for the next best thing, and trying to explore that. And then if it doesn't go right, he can just thinking that Shelly's gonna be there waiting for him, and she's gonna jump, and she's gonna jump. And for so far, again, it's only like day 10 or day 11, whatever day it is. So far, that's really what she's been doing. And that's the one thing I did not like that Shelly's doing. It's like, you gotta make Ace like work for it. It's like, when things was going bad with him and Amaya, and he was able to jump over and talk to you, he was there every second away. Like when he said, go get dressed or do something like this, the way you immediately dropped everything you're doing to go and do what he wanted to do, I don't like that look. I don't like how that looks. But I'm glad that she's finally realizing that, she said, I really need to stop doing this. But then again, like, because there was no bombshell that came in here for Shelly, it's like she's stuck with Austin, and that's what I don't want. Like, I don't want her thinking that she has to be comfortable, she has to be complacent to stay with Austin, because Ace keep doing whatever he want to do. Now, I don't want to know I don't want to think Shelly is lying. Does she really like Austin? Maybe. I think she really does like Austin, because in mind, you got to think, they don't know the stuff that we know about Austin. So in the moment, her spending every day with him, and she's seeing him being sweet, him treating her good, and that's probably very attractive to her. So that's why she has so much feelings for Austin. But I want her to have options, and she don't have any, and that's what is pissing me off. But they end off that conversation, her and Ace, and I don't think they talked again this whole entire episode. He appreciates that she was honest, and she appreciates that he was honest with her. But in the back of her mind, she's like, listen, I really can't keep doing this, and thank you, Shelly. And then also, when they're about to go to bed, she it was kind of funny, she told Alondra, she said, hey, I didn't tell you about me and Ace's conversation. He was like, oh, I'm still wanting to explore you, but me and Iris had some conversations, and I want to explore her too. And then she end off with a dirty look. She is annoyed. Like, you can tell that it's really getting to her. I feel like, I hope she doesn't crash out over him, but I feel like one day, like, if he tries to do this shit again and another bombshell comes in here that catches his eye, she gonna crack. I think I see it. I don't want it to happen for her, but I see it happening. I just see it happening. So then we jump over to the next morning. Ace brings Iris breakfast, but not Shelly. Hmm. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all, because when you just making her a hibachi style breakfast not that long ago, and now you're not even bringing her breakfast no more. I don't know. Like, is Ace really in love with Iris? This is crazy, y'all. Oh, and speaking of that, he's talking to, who he's talking to? Oh, I think he's talking to Charlie, and he says that Iris is he said, oh, bombshells can come in here, and you don't even think that you have something in common with them, and you end up having things in common with them. He says how Iris is not his usual type, which I didn't, when I looked at her, I was like, is she even your type at all? But he says Iris is not his usual type, but when he was talking to her, they had so much in common. Like, oh my god, they had so much in common. Ugh. Okay, so then we jump over to, and I think that's again like Ace and Shelly for the rest of the episode. At least I don't have it in my notes. For the rest of the episode, they don't talk for the rest of the episode, which is like, damn. So then basically, so the last conversation we get with Ace and Iris is Ace and where I got it at. Sorry, bear with me. Okay, yeah. Ace and Iris talk before the recoupling. She acknowledges that Ace is asking questions about her, and instead of like looking all around and down at the floor like Taylor be doing with Alondra, she's actually like paying attention to her. And she says how she can like, talk to him forever, and she says, it's like never boring, I can just talk to him forever. And Ace asked her, does she believe at love at first sight? And I was like, Ace, don't tell me that you fell in love with this girl. It's one day. But yeah, and she says she believes in fate. Technically still love at first sight, but different way, right? And then Ace, it just talks about how he's just so excited to get to know Iris. Oh Lord, okay, Ace. Okay. Oh wait, so then we get into our next couple. This is gonna be like real quick, y'all. Cause not the same old happened like how it happened last episode. So basically, Jalen is still open to getting to know Alandria and everything. And and it seems like this whole episode, every time Taylor talks to every time Taylor is talking to Alandria, he has to bring up Jalen in some kind of way. And it's like, I really wish Taylor would stop doing that. It's like, stop talking to her about Jalen. Like, you need to talk to her about her and everything like that. Alandria has said that she that it's different between like how Jalen and Taylor approached her differently. How Jalen is always acknowledging how pretty she is, where with Taylor he notices the person in her, some shit like that, something that she had said, and then she likes that, and then she, of course, that she's that's what attracted her to Taylor. And then this mom was like, oh my god, Alandria, please don't tell me that you're still trying to hold out hope that something can happen between you and Taylor. Like, I can't, y'all. Like, you guys don't know how bad I want Taylor out of that goddamn villa. I want him out, and I want him out bad, right? But anyways, so we have another one. Jalen and Alandria talk. This is when they come back from the challenge, and they're just talking about life stuff, the same old. And then he does ask. Oh wait, did he ask? Oh yeah, he did ask if he could kiss her, and then he ends up kissing her, and then they walk away. And then that's basically how it ended. He just says, may the best man win. I hope so, Jalen. I hope so. We gonna get into that. So then we move on to the next couple, y'all. Yeah, like the thing what happened between those two wasn't as big as I thought it was gonna be this episode. I thought it was gonna be a little bit more. But again, Taylor is boring as the fuck, and I need Alandria away from him. Okay, but yeah, we're gonna get into the very last couple before we get into the challenge and before we get into the recoupling. So here we go. So y'all, the way the shit happened between Huda and Jeremiah this episode was just like the way because America already knew who voted for what, right? But the way they set up this damn episode with Huda and Jeremiah, y'all, we gonna get into it. I had to save them for last because a lot went on. So at the beginning of the episode, Huda pulls Jeremiah Huda and Jeremiah, they talk, and they talk about the whole pancake situation, right? And then she talking about some. First of all, it wasn't the pancakes, it was that another man had to help me. And he rolls his eyes, and she said, oh my god, why are you rolling your eyes? Oh god, Lord Jesus. Jeremiah says that he doesn't when I kind of get him in this point, he doesn't understand why like she's always have like tested him. It's like, it seems like with Jeremiah's like with not with Hannah, Huda, it seems like he can't do anything right, and she always have to complain. And then they talk about they talk about Huda, and she says that my bad. They talk about his conversation with Iris, and then he brings up like what they talked about and everything like that. Then all of a sudden she gets mad. She's telling something. First of all, I don't know her. You don't ever bring our problems up to other bitches, okay? She says you don't ever fucking do that. And he was like, and then he literally like a puppy dog said, okay, like, do you really like, you say how she parents you, and the fact that you literally just said okay when she said that, and she blows my mind, which shows that like he is really tough. Because I was starting to think like when I was editing my last two videos that I did on this, because they were like a big part of the last two, they've been a big part of the whole season, but really a big part of the last two episodes. I've been saying how I think Huda is toxic. I said maybe Jeremiah is the victim. No, he is just as toxic because he's staying here. Like, you're staying with the crazy. That makes sense. Then she ends up saying, she says, you better watch what you do because I'm always watching you. We know. He says, "Oh my god, you're so cute when you're like this," and then all of a sudden they have like another little fucking argument, and I'm like, "What the hell?" And but then it ends off with Jeremiah's in his confessional. He said how this is the first time we fought, but it's something we can't work past, and I still want to be with her and want to work things out. Toxic. And then Huda ends off saying how I feel like I'm kind of a bitch. I think like I say a lot of mean things. It's not kind of, honey, you are one. It's not no kinda. And then I just ends off with them kissing, which they're all their goddamn conversation ends with them like kissing up on each other. No point. So then we get to the bedtime scene where everybody is when everybody gets ready and everything like that, and you guys know how they always do. They show the night vision of seeing who's doing what. Majority of the time, a lot of people are not doing nothing. Like the most we see is kissing. But Huda and Jeremiah, they be the freakiest frogs. And tonight, bitch, Jeremiah, before the lights went off, Jeremiah, like, they're whispering. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Jeremiah's whispering to Huda saying, "You can do whatever you want when the lights go off." Oh my god, this is so crazy. And I'm like, huh? So the lights went off. We get the night vision. Everybody is just sleeping. No one's cuddling. The only one that was doing anything was Nick and Sierra. They were kissing. It goes over to Huda and Jeremiah. She gets on top of him, and all we saw was the covers moving, y'all. So they full on had sex, because I'm thinking the other nights, the only thing that they're doing is just like little, can I say the word, hand jobs on here? Like he just finger blasting her, or she's giving him a rub down. So they seem like they really went all the way. I hope you use protection, because Huda, it's very clear that you're fertile, sweetheart. Just saying. I hope you use some kind of protection, or of course, or hopefully he pulled out. But I'm trying to figure out how in the hell, because speaking of that, we get to the next morning and Huda tells the girl, she says, "Guys, she said, I want to tell you something, but I don't know if I can, or I don't know how to." And then Sierra said, "What, did you have sex?" She said, "Yes, we had sex, but I'm not going to tell you guys when." So it doesn't seem like because mind you, they all have to sleep in the same room except for Ace. He's sleeping outside. They all have to sleep in the same room, and I'm surprised that no one heard them, because honey, when you have some good sex, you gonna be making some noises. So obviously the sex must not have been that great, honey, if you weren't making at least some noise that woke somebody up. Because the fact that nobody was talking about it, and the fact, because it was Shelly, Alandria, Sierra, and another girl, I think it was probably Hannah, they said, "Wait, y'all had sex when?" So they had sex last night and no one heard that shit. That was so crazy to me. So everybody in that room, they must be heavy sleepers. Because I knowing me, I would have said some shit. Because this is why, again, like I said, y'all, I can't go on a show like this. Because I'll be damned if you gonna have sex in a room when I'm in a room. That's just very, very disrespectful. Y'all could have went outside. Y'all could have went somewhere else. Like, y'all had to do it in the room. And y'all bed is smacked there. I think, well, on the edge, but then I don't know how to be moving, but it seemed like their bed be in the middle of the room. But then for some goddamn reason, they be ending up on the bed at the end. I don't know how that editing is working. It's fucking weird. But yeah, having sex with everybody in a room, yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. But it's like, I guess go ahead and do y'all thing, but y'all can't do that no more unless y'all sneak off. But then we jump over to, I'm trying to see, that Huda and Jeremiah like have any other talks before the recoupling. Oh yeah, so yeah, they did. So, and that's gonna tie into the game. So Huda and Jeremiah, they're talking because during the game, which I'm gonna explain later, he had to kiss Alandria, and then they she said how she didn't think that Jeremiah and Alandria would actually kiss and anything like that. And then he says, I'm gonna play the game. And you gotta remember, like everyone's saying, it's a challenge, sweetheart. It's not like he's like kissing these girls outside of a challenge. It's part of a challenge. You want him to be boring. And how is it fair that you be kissing off on people but he can't do it? Like, you always have a fucking problem. Like, that's that shit I'm talking about. Like, girl, like, this shit is crazy. Like, I don't understand that. And then we have before the what the fuck is this shit was called, recoupling. Before the recoupling, they talk about the goddamn kiss with Alandria again. And then he asks her, like, why do you always like looking when I'm kissing other girls? And she says, well, you didn't need to kiss her. Like Sierra and Taylor, they just knocked on the door, but you had to kiss her. Like, you didn't have to do that. And then it just ends off with them laughing. Jeremiah, please see y'all both some walking red flags. But Huda is a major walking red flag. If y'all can see in this picture right there, they both wearing red. Y'all some red flags, and it's not. I'm just saying, when it get into the real world, it's not gonna work out. And if y'all do stay together, it's gonna be the most toxic relationship ever. And Huda, that's not something you need to bring around your child. It's nothing you need to bring around your child. It's nothing you need to be around your child. But yeah, y'all, that's everything that happened with the couples that had a big main part of this. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna get into the game. Let me see if I can get everybody on the screen. Just bear with me. Yep, there we go. Mind you, so this is everybody, right? So we jump into the game. So the game is called, oh yeah, because first Austin gets a text. Not Austin, what's his name? Nick gets a text. And they said, you guys are about to do a challenge called Got Wood with a question mark. And not the wood that Jeremiah had last night. So they go over to this, I don't know where they was at. It was supposed to be like a lumberjack kind of thing, and then Paige from Summer House is hosting. Now, I know about Paige, but I promise y'all, I've never in my life seen an episode of Summer House. I never seen an episode of Summer House ever. So, but Paige, she looked good. She looked the fuck good. No, so basically, because after watching the challenge, I kind of understood it. But when they were explaining the rules, because I'm trying to note this down, the rules confused me, y'all. Okay, so basically, the boys have to climb a tree. They have to like cut down like this tree branch shit, and they have to read a question, and who do they think it pertains to the other guys? And then they have to spray them with this wood chipper, and then they get to choose who gets to grind, and they get to choose who they kiss. It was very confusing, y'all. So basically, they sprayed him. Excuse me. And then the guy who gets sprayed gets to choose what girl gets to be on this grinder thing with them. And then the guy who cut down the branch gets to like go on this little slide, like water, like little slippery slide thing. And then they get to pick a beaver out of a basket with a girl's name on there. And then they get to go in that little log cabin for, I think it was 20 or 30 seconds, and just do whatever they want, like make out, do whatever they want, basically. So that's what it was. But when they explained to y'all, the rules were very fucking confusing. But after watching it, I was like, okay, this is what happened. So I did get everybody. I'm gonna breeze past them, but it was like a lot of funny things. So Austin is first. They asked what guy needs to leave the filler. He picks Jeremiah. Damn. Damn. Wait, hold up. Did Austin pick who did he pick? Oh, then he didn't even pick Hutter. So you said Jeremiah, you could have picked Hutter to leave. Just saying. No, so Austin, he picks Jeremiah. Amaya is the girl that Austin has to grind the axe with. He picks Shelly to ride the log with him, and then he picks Alandria's beaver out of the basket. So they go into the log cabin. They start kissing, and they were getting in. Can I just say Alandria's picked a lot. So her and Austin start kissing. I was like, it hurts me seeing Austin kissing off on another black girl in this fucking villa, y'all. Ugh, I can't. So Taylor goes next. They asked him who do you think is bored in their couple. He picks Ace, of course, and then Ace picks Hutter to grind on Taylor during the axe grind. And he picks, and then like they kept skipping a lot of the steps. So, but the big parts they kept showing was who got to go inside and kiss each other. So Sierra was the beaver. They don't even go in there and kiss because Taylor and Nick are like this. They best friends, right? So all they just did was start shaking the door, pound on the door, and she was like, "Oh my God, Taylor!" Like they was having sex, but it was just all the fun and games because I think out of respect, Taylor was not gonna kiss Sierra out of respect, So then we got Nick. They said, who do you think is pining for someone else who is looking to be with somebody else other than the person that's in their couple? They pick Ace. Duh. Iris is the one that's grinding with him, and then Alandra's beaver is picked. So him and Nick and Alandra, they start going in, and then he like carries her out, and her rear ass is showing. Like she has like the most perfect ass I've ever seen, y'all. It's crazy. Again, another one where Alandra got picked, right? But they don't stop there, y'all. So then we got Jeremiah, and they said who has no hope for their couple. Ace gets picked again. Sierra is grinding, and Alandria's beaver gets picked yet again. So Alandria and Jeremiah in there, and I was shy. I said, I don't think Jeremiah's gonna do anything. No, Jeremiah went in there and started kissing all on Alandria, y'all. And then why again? Huda makes it being a stage 15 clinger. This bitch is in the bushes trying to look in there to see what they're doing. She's like, oh my God, they're kissing. Oh my God. Like you didn't see not near other girl in that villa do that with nobody else. You the only person. Like, girl, Hannah didn't even do that. Now she did something else, but Hannah did in this challenge because she knows it's a challenge. And you again doing the most. Like, girl, from that to you leaning back and then you like doing sour puss faces. I can't take it. I cannot. So the next person we have Ace. They said who needs to get cut down to size. So I'm thinking like who's too tall or too big. I don't know. He picks Pepe because he's the biggest person there. Well, other than Jeremiah. And then Iris is on. He picks Iris to go on the log with him. And then Elandria's beaver got picked yet again. Damn, Elandria, like, man, they just love Elandria, man. She kissed. I think she was the person that kissed the most people. Then we have Jalen. They said, who do you think needs to branch out? He picks Jeremiah. So Hutta is grinding on Jalen, and Amaya's beaver got picked, and Amaya and her and Jalen was getting it in. They look so cute together. I think I kind of see Amaya with Jalen. If Alandra decides for some stupid reason to go back to Taylor, Amaya, you need to jump on that Jalen train. Just saying. Then we have Pepe. They said who has no chemistry with their couple. He picked Austin, which I'm surprised he didn't pick up Ace, but he picked Austin. Then Hannah is on the log with Charlie, and because Charlie had to show out because he think he's losing Hannah. And then Iris's beaver get picked, and then Iris and Pepe start kissing. It was actually kind of cute. Then we got our last guy, Charlie, and they said, who is your competition? No surprise, he picked Pepe, of course, because they both are after Hannah at this point. And then Hannah is on the log. Wait, hold up. I'm so sorry, I mixed that. Pepe had chose Hannah to go on his log to do like the little water thing, and then Charlie on his turn picked Hannah as well to go on the log. So Hannah got picked to go on the log. Then Sierra is the beaver, and then they do start kiss. Now Sierra did kiss Charlie, and then of course Nick is a little sour, right, about that. Then they open the door and kiss right in front of them. It was actually the funniest shit. Like, yeah, show Nick, because Nick, fuck you. All right, so then so that was the challenge, y'all. Like, the one thing I didn't like about this challenge, it was really fun to watch. It was very interesting. I like when they do, and it's like it's always having something to do with kissing, which I enjoy. The one thing I didn't like was all them damn steps. So like you had to do this, and this just to get to a kiss. I didn't like it. It was too much. It was too much shit. It was too much shit going on. They could have cut down something. They could have said you could have grind and then just kiss. That whole chopping down a thing, like, no, they had kept the chop down a tree. But then they could honestly just said, pick a beaver to see who you want to go and kiss. That's all you had to do. I didn't think they need to add all the extra steps. They need to add on extra steps. So so we're done with the challenge. But then also something I want to throw in there before I get to the recoupling is the guy. So of course everyone's talking about the challenge and everything, right? So something interesting. So the guys are talking. You know how the guys go and talk to each other and the girls go and talk to each other. The guys are talking. Well, mainly Nick is asking Jeremiah if he's concerned with how the way Hutta reacts when he's with another girl. They asked him, they said, like, the overprotection, like, does that seem like it's a little too much? Like, are you worried? And Jeremiah basically said he's not worried. He said he's kind of been through this before when he was with a girl who was long distance, but like that's not what they were asking. They weren't asking how you good with a long distance relationship. They said, how are you with a girl who is overprotective? Because Hutta this whole entire time is like, every time you even blow next to a girl, like, she is like, oh my god, what's going on? Oh my god, what's going on? And y'all ain't been there for 10, 11 fucking days. But of course, Jeremiah, holding out hope, that Hutta's gonna be a really great woman. He wants to be a stepdaddy, which he ain't ready to be no stepdaddy. He ain't ready to be no stepdaddy. So y'all, the moment of truth. Ariana looking good, and she had the Ariana Grande ponytail. Like, go ahead, girl. Ariana arrives, and she says, hi guys, meet me at the fire pit. She tells them that there's going to be a recoupling, and she said it's going to be different. She said we had America vote who they want the bombshells with. Dun, dun, dun. Yep. So Pepe, Iris, and Jalen, us, as you guys, I explained to you guys last episode, my last recap, we got to pick who we want the bombshells with. Now, the one thing I didn't know with the bombshells, I didn't know how they were going to do it. Like, I did not expect, you guys, that somebody was going to go home tonight. I just thought that whoever got taken, they were just going to recouple, and whoever just wasn't coupled was just going to be single and vulnerable until they had another recoupling. So I was just confused on how, that was going to work. So the people that we coupled. So the first people we heard had three couple is Jalen. And she says, Jalen, the person that America wanted you to couple with is Elandria. So Taylor has to come meet Ariana up there, and Jalen has to sit next to Alandra. Immediately puts his arm around her. You know he was happy, and Alandra was just stuck, right? So then they said Pepe. Now this is the one that I was not sure about. I was really sure about Jalen and Iris, because everyone was like, okay, we're putting Iris with Jeremiah because we got to see Huda and Jeremiah split up because we got to see this crash out. And then Jalen and Landry, like, who else was Jalen gonna be with? So the only person I wasn't sure about was Pepe. I thought it was either between Hannah and what's her name? Sierra. Hannah, Sierra, and then some of Maya's I saw, but I feel like it was mainly between Hannah and Sierra. So they pick him to go with Hannah. And then Hannah, and then mind you, this whole time they doing this recoupling, Hannah is sitting there talking to Charlie, telling something, it's okay. It's gonna be okay. Girl, you were wrong. So then her and Pepe have to sit down, and then Charlie has to go up there with Taylor. Then y'all. Woo, y'all. So then we get to Iris. Now they were trying to like fake it out, thinking that they were gonna either put Iris with either Nick. I think that's why they kept flashing over to Nick, because they probably thought, oh no, they're gonna put Iris with Nick. They're gonna put her with Nick. Wrong. They said, Iris, America wanted you with Jeremiah. And when I tell you, everybody's mouths dropped. They was like shocked, because they probably thinking, why can't they see that we're in love? Like, honey, that's not love, that's toxicity. And then immediately after that's announced, why was Ace laughing, y'all? Ace was laughing like I could not take it, y'all. Ace was happy that, you know, they was getting split up and everything like that, right? So now these are the people that are recoupled. So J-Lo's with Alandria, Pepe is with Hannah, and Iris is with Jeremiah. Now, so that leaves Taylor. That leaves what's their names? Taylor. You see, I'm forgetting these motherfuckers' names. Taylor, Charlie, and Huda. They're all vulnerable, y'all. So now they're all vulnerable. And then Ariana also says that now, with that happening, the person who get the most votes will have to leave the villa tonight. Now, that's where it took us for a loop, because I just wasn't expecting nobody to leave, y'all. That's the craziest part to me. I was expecting nobody to leave. So between Huda, Taylor, and Charlie, the people that's going to be voting are the ones that didn't get recoupled. And immediately everybody was, well, not everybody was crying. The only people that was crying was the girls and Jeremiah, because there was a chance that Huda could have gone home. But when I tell you all the girls cried, all of them, because I remember seeing the first look and I'm thinking, like, why is Sierra and Shelly crying? I said, is Sierra crying because Nick got taken away from her? So this is why I'm like, why are y'all crying like this? Like, when I tell y'all I was bawling, I was like, stop with the dramatics. Like, y'all doing the fucking most. But yes, so they have to go one by one. So Sierra goes first. She picks Charlie. Nick goes second. He says Huda, which is crazy that Huda told you that she was a mommy, and how, you know, her and Jeremiah are so like this, and you was sitting there consoling her when she was taken away from Jeremiah just for you to vote her to get out of the house. I don't know, Nick. So then we have Austin, and very much shocked me. Like, I already thought Austin was gonna probably pick Taylor, because I knew he wasn't picking Charlie, because that's his fellow Trumpy, and so I thought he was gonna pick Huda, but he picks Taylor. So now it's 1-1-1. So everybody got one vote. We go over to Shelly. She picks Charlie, which doesn't surprise me. She loves Huda, and her and Taylor. I mean, I don't think she is as close to Charlie. It was crazy because Charlie was calling to her. So yeah, it was hard for Shelly. So yeah, Charlie. So then we have Ace. Now this is where it gets messy. So Ace stands up and he gives this long, drawn out speech, right? He says, you know, I love that I got to meet all y'all, but I feel like two people are putting their hearts out. Taylor ain't putting his heart out to nobody. What the fuck you talking about? But anyway, he said, it seems like a lot of bullshit that this person here is for love and yada 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 and blah blah blah. So my vote is for Huda. And Huda gave him the nastiest look. I mean, because mind you, she was already crying like crazy, right? And her eyes was red, and then she was giving him the meanest stare down. Ace really, I don't know if Ace wants Huda or he just wants Jeremiah not to be happy. I don't know what it is, but it's crazy, and it's gonna blow up tomorrow. So then we have Amaya. Amaya is the last vote. Now let me tell you something. Amaya, when Ariana told them that they were going to be the ones to vote who has to go out, Amaya was like, no, like, why are you doing this? Dramatic as fuck, but it made for great television. But Amaya, like, she, like, everybody was crying, but the tears that I didn't understand why the tears was Amaya. Like, she was like balling harder. She was balling more than Alandria was. Like, girl, you're in a couple still. You're not. You didn't get recoupled. You're still here staying. So why the fuck are you crying? Like, the way she was crying, y'all. And then she gives us a speech too. She told us, this is like really really hard. Like, my mascara's running. This is really hard. But Charlie, I'm gonna have to vote you out, girl. You talking about how you love Hannah and you don't want Hannah to be hurt. So why'd you vote her man out of the house? Why the fuck didn't you vote out Taylor? Oh, y'all understand how much. And because this would have been the thing. So it was Charlie had 2 votes, Taylor had 1 vote, and Huda had 2 votes. So I wonder if Amaya had voted Taylor, what would have happened? Well, damn. So Taylor didn't even have that many votes, so he wouldn't have gone. Damn it. You guys don't know how bad I want Taylor out of this house. I want him out of this house. So when Amaya told Charlie, and Ariana says, Charlie, you have now been dumped, Hannah busted in tears. When I tell you, she cried. She was like, girl, I don't want to listen. Hannah says, I don't want to hear no fucking crying from you, honey, because honestly, you weren't crying when you was tonguing down Pepe. And had mind you, Hannah, I know they didn't think about this, but in mindset, like, honey, had you not done that, had you not tongued down Pepe, Nick probably would have been gone. Like, it probably, because this is the thing, like, if Hannah hadn't done what she done with Pepe, and then Pepe and Sierra still had their little, like, thing going on, and they would have paired Sierra with Pepe, it would have been Taylor, Nick, and Huda up there. Ooh, that would have been messy. I think they did with Charlie because who the fuck give a fuck about Charlie? I wouldn't want to happen if Taylor, Nick, and Huda was up there. It probably would have been. Nick, either it been Nick or Taylor would have went home. So Hannah, I don't want to hear shit about them tears, honey. And I feel like she gonna get over it. I feel like she gonna get over it. I never believed that whole her and Charlie relationship. I didn't believe it for a second. But yep, Charlie and Hannah, they go and hug, and Charlie's gone, y'all. Yeah, and also Charlie, I forgot to mention this. When Ariana said that one of the islanders that they were going to be voting who's going to leave, why did Charlie start begging and pleading? Pathetic. Charlie's out of here. We finally got one of them. No, we already got a Trumpy out. Lisa left. She was a Trumpy and a racist, low key. Charlie is a Trumpy, so we got him out. So the only person left to get up out of there is Austin. Why is Austin still in this house? And he's stuck with Shelly again. Oh Lord. But y'all, that's where the episode ended, y'all. The preview for next week, why I keep saying that? The preview for next episode, which is going to be tomorrow, is tonight, if you're going to be watching this, is Jeremiah versus Ace. Finally coming to a head. Like, I've been waiting for this because Ace been throwing little digs at Jeremiah since day one. Alandria says America is seeing some shit that we don't see. Listen to us. And then we have Hannah, who is crying, and she's holding a picture of Charlie right next to her. Dramatic. But yeah, y'all, that is the episode for today, y'all. Really good episode. It was really long, y'all, but I was so seated. I literally was like shatting my pants because I'm like, they are so dramatic when they announce who is getting recoupled and who was going home and all that kind of stuff. It was like an American Idol telling something. The winner of American Idol is like, I hate that shit. I hate it so much. But yeah, y'all, that's all I got for y'all. Before I get up out of here, remember, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Okay, I will be back tomorrow or Monday night for episode 13. So be there or be squared. And that's all I have for you guys today. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.